Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit. In today's programme we are looking at the Scottish Sports and Saloons Championship, which is the first race we have out on track, and a little bit later on we're going to look at the Classic Sports and Saloons. But first off, we have thousands of horsepower heading out on track under wet, greasy, slippery conditions here at Knockhill. On pole position is the number one machine of Ian Donaldson. Ian won the first race of the year and then had that mechanical failure in the second race, but he's back with a bang on pole position, full wet tyres. I'll hand this one to Richard and he'll take us through their first race of the day.
Thank you, Joe. The hour of power about to get underway here at Knockhill with the defending champion Ian Donaldson on pole. Paul Bryden is alongside. Row 2, Colin Simpson and Roddy Patterson, followed by Gary Waite and Alistair McMillan. The returning Finlay Crocker next to Mark Dawson, Thompson McIntyre and Graham Robertson. Then we've got the first two in the championship. Scott Tolland second in the standings, William Robson championship leader after event 1, and Charlie Fraser in the Westfield Megabusa completes the grid, which is away now. A little bit of creeping from Roddy Patterson in the Caterham, but he seemed to get it all checked up and he's in third place. Paul Bryden immediately ahead, but Ian Donaldson leads down into Duffer's Dip for the first time. Absolutely filthy conditions out here. We've only got two Class A1 cars. Scott Tolland, championship leader in his Escort Cosworth, and of course the race leader Ian Donaldson. Now, by virtue of that non-finish in race 2, it's William Robson who leads the championship. He's in Class B1. Now remember, the Class A is running on slick racing tyres. Well, obviously not in these conditions, but racing tyres nonetheless. And the Class B car's running on the tread. So Paul Bryden second. And you can see we've got the Marcus Mantis of Colin Simpson. All 5 litres of it. So much grunt in the field. And it's a terrific championship to watch. We go in car with Mark Dawson in the Seat Leon. You can see clear track ahead of him. Plenty of spray to have to deal with. Mark running in Class A2. Finlay Crocker, last year's A2 champion. Ian Donaldson, as we said, overall champion. And at the moment, Ian Donaldson getting away with it. Paul Bryden in second position. Then it's Roddy Patterson in the Caterham. But look how Donaldson is getting away. And for Donaldson, if he looks in his mirrors and thinks about the qualifying times, not too much in terms of competition for him in Class A1 at this event. So really, he's just got to get the best out of the car, build as big a margin as possible, and get away from these guys who are squabbling over the remaining overall podium positions. And Roddy Simpson goes up the inside. The 2.3 litre Caterham running in Class A3. A3 for effectively for kit cars, and the Caterham goes through. Caterhams and kit cars goes through. Paul Bryden loses it. Paul Bryden's lost it. Let's hope it's not a big impact at Scotsman. Oh goodness me, I thought he was going to clout the tyre wall, and he is now facing the wrong way, struggling for grip to get out, but well, he's made a very good job of getting back out of the gravel, back onto circuit. So through McIntyre's and up into the chicane. 13 cars starting round 3 of the championship. Ian Donaldson won the first race of the season. The second race was won by Phil Drybrough in the Ginetta in that very dramatic end. There is Mark Dawson in the immaculate Seat. Really great looking piece of kit, as I say, running in Class A2. So he's up against Colin Simpson in the Marcus and Paul Bryden in the BMW M3. So he's got some stiff competition, Mark Dawson, running in Class A2. Dawson, of course, was the B1 champion back in 2013 when Ryan McGuinness won the championship. McGuinness that year running in A2. 2014 we had a B1 class champion, which was Andrew Morrison, and Class A1 last year with Ian Donaldson. So the titles have kind of been shared around the various classes, and that's indicative of just how competitive the championship is and how the organisers have got the class structure about right. But there's the Edinburgh race of Roddy Patterson in the Caterham. chasing up the hill, and he is now ahead of Colin Simpson in third place in the blue Marcus Mantis. So we've got an A1 class car. There he is, Ian Donaldson, leading the Class A3 Caterham of Roddy Patterson, and the Class A2 Marcos Mantis of Colin Simpson. We've got 7 entries in Class A2. A1 and B1 have 2 entries, and then 1 entry apiece in classes B2 and A3. So although Roddy Patterson is out there, he's not going to pick up too many more championship points. You only get the full score of championship points if there are 3 or more starters. So the race leader already getting into back marker territory and having no problems at all dealing with those. Donaldson, we would perhaps expect to get the fastest lap, but Roddy Patterson is putting on a very good turn of speed indeed. There is Scott Tollan, the Motherwell racer in the Escort Cosworth, who is passed. Scott's second in the championship coming into this meeting. Will Robson led it with 50 points. Tollan on 45. Paul Bryden is third in the standings and has rejoined, so Paul Bryden's going to be in the shout for points here. And then fourth position was Phil Dryborough. Brian Meldrum in fifth place. We haven't got Dryborough or Meldrum here racing today. But Ian Donaldson is not concerned about that, and the Mitsubishi Evo 9 is making very light work of the back markers. No disgrace, of course, at all for the back markers. You'd fully expect them in different classes to be lapped by the race leaders. There's Roddy Patterson. So, on board with Patterson, who's setting some very quick laps here. Starting to nibble down on the lead that Ian Donaldson has. Of course, this one a two-wheel drive car. The four-wheel drive class is Class A, and Donaldson in that very developed car, giving a very good display here, and hoping to put that non-finish from round 2 behind him, and that could be a major upset or major dent in his championship hopes. But as you can see, very much on his own and getting away, building up a fairly substantial lead. Up through the hairpin and up the hill once again goes Donaldson, the race leader, as we said, defending champion from last year. Ian Donaldson looking to make it 2 wins from 3 starts here. Hasn't got the fastest lap. The previous lap, Roddy Patterson got it. Oh, and has to take avoiding action on the grass. Well, there is proof that whether you've got a 15-second lead or not, you very often need that, and you can have problems on the last lap of the race. But they're dealt with, and Donaldson saw that, goes past, and looks like he's going to make it home in one piece. But remember, the last round, we had all sorts of things going on at the last corner. But it does look like Donaldson is going to be safe to take the checkered flag. Just seeing the Ultima of Alistair McMillan going into pit road, and I think into retirement. But it is a win for Ian Donaldson. Roddy Patterson takes second and wins Class A3. Class A2, the biggest class, won by Colin Simpson, the biggest class numerically. Paul Bryden next from Mark Dawson, then Finlay Crocker, Graham Robertson 7th from William Robson, Scott Tollan, and non-finishes for Alistair McMillan, Charlie Fraser, Thompson McIntyre, and also Gary Waite.
Ian, winning again, but last time out, I didn't get a chance to speak to you after that blow-up. We'll have a wee chat about that drama. It just went bang.
I know, I came out the back straight, went for third, and it kind of didn't get anything, so I managed to get it, and then when I went for second at the hairpin, it just put the gearbox in two.
It's unusual, because I always say to you it's quick, but the other thing is, as to why you're winning, it holds together. But I tell you, it got you back, eh?
Aye, I know, you jinxed me, I told you not.
But back to winning ways this morning from pole position, seeing the wets on the car. Easy?
Aye, easy. Everybody's harder to beat us because they're two-wheel drives, but hopefully it dries out and we'll get a bit of better racing in the afternoon.
Well done.
Cheers.
Colin, third place, a good result, but you said as soon as you got out of the car, just a procession of a race for you. There was no drama, just keeping it on the road, nice and easy.
Yeah, that's just exactly right. It was almost lonely going round. Yeah, it's fine. But there was no excitement, no race, no.
You put new wets on and then changed your mind?
I did have a set. I had those old ones on for qualifying, so it was still quite wet, and I put a brand new set on for the race. And then 5 minutes before, I looked at the track and I thought, no, that's far too dry. So I put the old ones back on. It was far too dry for wets. But at the beginning, it would have been better with good wets. You know, it was just one of those days, isn't it? It was neither one thing or another. You know.
Well done.
It's fine. As I said, the thing's still in one piece, which is a bonus. So it's good.
Good job.
Thank you.
And our B1 class winner, great result. Horrible conditions out there on track. It's just Knockhill's throwing the wet races at us.
You just can't tell. Yesterday, blue skies, beautiful weather all day, but I didn't have a good day. I threw the timing belt yesterday, bent a lot of valves, so I had to change cylinder head yesterday afternoon, and just straight out this morning. Terrible qualifying, but good result in the race. I'm very happy with that.
You hoping for dry conditions for your second race this afternoon?
Yeah, definitely.
I think we're due one.
Definitely due a dry race. I prefer dry racing, but I think the wet racing always throws in a bit of, you don't know what's going to happen, bit of drama, and it makes it fun. A lot more fun in a wet race like that. But with a dry race, there's more racing, more head to head. So, see what happens.
Well done.
Thank you.
Sports and Saloons race number 2, and thankfully, as predicted, fully dry conditions. And if you swing around and have a look at our pole position and race 1 winner Ian Donaldson, you will see slick tyres fitted to his car, and that's pretty much the story. Up and down the grid with bone dry conditions. And as Ian said after the first one, if we get a dry one, we'll see more action at the front. Let's see if he was right, and I'll hand it to Richard for their final race of the day.
Thanks, Joe. Donaldson on pole, Roddy Patterson alongside row 2, Colin Simpson with Paul Bryden, row 3, Mark Dawson and Finlay Crocker, and then Graham Robertson and William Robson, Scott Tolland and Alistair McMillan, followed by Charlie Fraser and Thompson McIntyre, with Gary Waite completing the grid. Gary, the first retiree in race number 1 on lap 6. So we are all ready to see Gary at the back of the grid. Those got the Ultima of Alistair McMillan alongside, and here's the front row of the grid. Mitsubishi Evo and Caterham. Great start by the Caterham, really gets the power down, and away we go. Here's the view from Finlay Crocker in the Honda Civic. Great to see Finlay back in the championship, and already setting about the Seat of Mark Dawson as they come down through Duffer Stip. Leslie's now into Scotsman Corner, and Finlay's braving it out on the outside line. Wasn't quite room, and it's the yellow Seat that holds on to it. Behind them is Graham Robertson in the BMW, then the Ultima. He's starting to make a bit of progress as well. Up ahead of them, the Marcos Mantis of Colin Simpson. But out front, it's the Caterham that's got away here, and Ian Donaldson down in second position. So great start by Roddy Patterson. Roddy's first meeting of the season, the man from Edinburgh. So he's going to be on the back foot just a little bit in terms of championship points. Many of the drivers just come out and race for fun rather than necessarily vying for the whole season, but we do have the regulars. This is Paul Bryden. Paul was running third in the standings coming into this, and having taken second place in Class A2, is going to close down on the Scott Tolland and William Robson, first and second overall in the championship. So Finlay Crocker now up ahead of the Marcus Mantis, and then it's Mark Dawson in the Seat, and then that second of 2 BMW. So you've got the M3 of Paul Bryden and the E46 M3 Graham Robertson is there. Gary Waite starting to make a bit of progress through from the back of the grid as well in his Ford Sierra Cosworth. So it's Patterson from Donaldson, Paul Bryden third place, Paul leading the can't quite say hordes. Big snaky moment there from Gary Waite coming out of the hairpin and heading up the hill, struggling to get that power down on the tarmac, hook up with the tarmac. There is Colin Simpson running in Class A2, and I think third position in A2 at the moment. So it's Finlay Crocker second in class, Colin Simpson third, then it's Mark Dawson, the yellow Seat fourth in Class A2 at the moment. So some decent points on offer from Class A2, which is led by that man going out of shot, Paul Bryden. Bit of a gap developing, as you can see. Finley Crocker still there in second. Not sure that Charlie Fraser had time. There's a spin for the Marcus Mantis, absolute handful. Ironic maybe that we didn't see a spin in the first race, but Colin Simpson gets it all fired up and gets going again, so he's got some progress to make. That means that class now will be Paul Bryden from Finley Crocker, Mark Dawson, and then Gary Waite coming through as well. Gary running in Class A2 and getting a real crack on here. So Gary Waite closing up on Mark Dawson and about to challenge for the last podium slot here in Class A2. Dawson from Waite still. Patterson out front from Ian Donaldson. Roddy Patterson with the fastest lap in the wet in race number 1 as well, as we mentioned. And Gary Waite starting to be really closing in now on the Seat, so we might see a change for third place in class in the next couple of laps. And remember, Gary Waite started last in this one. We had a couple of I think non-starters, sadly Charlie Fraser and Thompson McIntyre, and we've also lost Alistair McMillan again sadly in the Ultima, so that's a wonderful car missing in action. But Gary Waite now starting to pile on the pressure through the Arnold Clark chicane, along the Brabham straight, up into Clark curve. Waite makes his move down the inside line, very cleanly done, room given, back end wants to come back around, and Waite up to third place in class. So the Ford Sierra Cosworth, the 2 litre car, up into third. Mark Dawson in also a 2 litre car, the Leon Super Copper machine, down to fourth place, but may well try and fight back. I tell you what, the pace isn't that far away from Gary Waite at the moment, so Mark may well be able to try and get the podium position back. Meantime, back to Roddy Patterson, who leads this one, Class A3. Half points, remember, for 1 or 2 starters in class. The championship rewarding those who have to beat more drivers in their respective class, which is, I guess, right and proper and pretty much how it should be. Here's Paul Bryden leading Class A2. This is going to, if things stay the way they are in the race, this is going to put Paul Bryden into second position in the championship, but just a point behind William Robson. So Bryden will be closing in on the championship lead. Robson will have 86, Bryden will be on 85, Scott Tollin will be on 73 points in third place in the overall standings. All of those guys, of course, leading their respective classes at the top of the overall championship. But Roddy Patterson, after a fine second position in his opening Scottish race of the season, is looking good. Scott Tollin there, the man who's second in the championship, about to be lapped by Mark Dawson, who goes up the inside, and you can see that Dawson hasn't got Gary Waite for company now. I think we might possibly have lost Gary Waite, so it might be another retirement for Waite, and that will promote Dawson into third position in class once again, as the race leader Roddy Patterson about to lap Dawson, who's running fifth position on the road. The Caterham goes through on the inside into Clark very safely, continues this tremendous pace. Patterson on his best lap, averaging very nearly 90 miles an hour around the Knockhill circuit, and very clearly enjoying this race. Huge lead. He was 17 seconds behind Ian Donaldson in race 1, and for race 2 he's turned that around and he's 20 seconds clear. Here comes the second place car up the hill now, the pink Mitsubishi, following Scott Tollin. There is Colin Simpson, who is a lap down, and we go on board once again with Finley Crocker. Finley is still on the lead lap. Finley was 1 lap down in race number 1, but on the lead lap here in the dry in the Honda Civic, and looking for second position in class. But the race leader continues unabated. This has been a great drive by Roddy Patterson. Comes down into the hairpin again on the brakes. We've got the William Robson Focus up front, which I think is going to maintain the championship lead. Ronnie Patterson on his last lap, so just under a mile or so to go now for the Edinburgh-based driver. The 2.3 litre Caterham had a class win in race 1, second position overall. He's going to back that up with an overall win here in race number 2, round 4 of the Scottish Saloon and Sports Car Championship for 2016. And the lead is a massive one, 23 seconds over the A1 class winning car so far of Ian Donaldson. Paul Bryden is third and winning class A2, and the checkered flag will come out now for the Caterham. Ronnie Patterson takes the win. And becomes our third different winner of the season. Ian Donaldson, of course, having won. Phil Dryborough won round 2. Ian Donaldson won round 3. And the second place car's coming up the hill. Meanwhile, we've got the Seat of Mark Dawson, who goes through in Mark Dawson's third place in class, 5th position overall. But here's the result. Ronnie Patterson takes the win. Class A1 and second position goes to Ian Donaldson. A2 victory to Paul Bryden. Finley Crock second in A2. Mark Dawson third in that class. Colin Simpson fourth. And then Graham Robertson 7th. Will Robson 8th. And Scott Tollan in 9th.
Roddy, one of our happiest winners of the day. That's a big relief for you. You've had a bit of drama with engines and bits and bobs as well in between meetings.
Total drama. I must admit, I owe my brother Andrew everything. We went down to Oulton in March and it blew the cylinder head gasket, and it was depression. And did we drop the season? And he was great. He gave up his evenings. We ripped the car apart in the garage, everything out, pistons out, bearings out, head off, everything. Rebuilt all ourselves, and this was the first run today. So I'm smiling that it didn't fly to bits.
That's really sticky tyres on that thing. It look like hill climb tyres almost.
Yeah, they are. But it's such a light car that if I've had harder tyres on, and it just won't generate any heat in them. And that's what you saw last year, was against Ian's car. If I could generate heat, then suddenly it came towards him. If it's on cold tyres, it just won't do anything.
Well, it certainly worked this afternoon.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, great fun. Thanks.
Ian, second place this time. This is what wins championships, except for the DNF at the last one. But a second and a first today is a good result.
I know it was a good result. I couldn't catch Roddy. I was trying hard. The first half of the race I couldn't catch him anyway. So then,
off the start line, he seems to have an advantage on you.
He got half good today anyway. Normally he lights the wheels up, but he got half good today. But no, I was sticking with him, and then I had a wee miss on the fuel, I think it is. So then I knew I couldn't catch him, so I just backed off. It was
get it to the end.
No, I may as well just finish instead of breaking it, trying. So, but no, I wasn't catching him today anyway. He was too fast.
Well done. We'll see you win next time.
Cheers.
Paul, good solid third place there. First race this morning, we missed you, but back on the podium.
Yeah, it was wet this morning. I'm trying out different tyres.
I did notice those. What are they off? Are they a McGann thing, or what are they off?
No, they're the same as what the Porsche run. But I was trying the weights this morning, but took my usual line down through Duffus and just swapped ends, ended up in the gravel. But put a new set on there, and they had grip for the outlap, so I was delighted with them. So they're delighted to finish, because there's some noises coming off the car that I'll need to inspect.
Well done, you got it to the end.
Thanks, cheers.